Hi again, everyone. Thanks again for joining me for this edition of Organizational Behavior Hack. I'm really glad you've tuned in today. Organizational behavior research has focused a great deal on motivation. So today, we will talk about why unmotivated workers are a problem. We'll define motivation and discuss some pitfalls leaders and managers should avoid. Finally, we will examine several theoretical perspectives about how to motivate employees. So far, we have covered several theories of organizational behavior, the classical viewpoints of scientific management and general management, and we have introduced the human relations school. Each of these perspectives desires employees to be productive. After all, a dedicated employee helps an organization accomplish its goals. Those leading and managing private, public, and nonprofit organizations therefore want employees to make a positive difference. This brings up a few questions to ponder. What enables employees to contribute, and how can leaders and managers facilitate this? Typically, or at least hopefully, each employee brings distinct personal strengths to an organization. Some employees are naturally great leaders. Others are dedicated workers who follow instructions and get things done. Some individuals are very outgoing and friendly. Others are more reserved and analytical. Some people have expertise in accounting, and others excel at sales, public speaking, or a myriad of other tasks ranging from mechanical repairs to human resource management. A leader or manager will obviously want to employ the best person for any given job. If people fall short in any given area, training can and should be provided. But human ability is only one reason why organizations are able to reach their goals. Another important variable is the degree of motivation witnessed among employees. It can be a challenge to develop and retain highly motivated workers, and some people assert this could be a particular problem facing the public sector. At least this is a perception that people may have of government workers, which may be accurate or inaccurate in different cases. Motivation can be a challenge since the goals of nonprofit and public organizations are not as clear as those in the private sector. It is more difficult to measure the achievements in terms of public good versus determining if a business is making money. In addition, it may be difficult to pay government employees at the same rate of those in the private sector. There is not as many bonuses or financial incentives to work hard. Also, the employment rules of government often reduce or delay the possibility of firing employees for a lack of performance. Consequently, it is possible that an employee may come in late, take too many breaks, be unproductive at work, and leave early. Of course, this is not always the situation. Many public sector employees want to serve their communities with unrivaled passion and exemplary dedication. Leaders and managers can influence the degree to which employees are motivated. But what is motivation? What can be done to help everyone be motivated? That is a major goal of research on this major topic of organizational behavior. First, what is motivation? According to Denhart and his colleagues, motivation is what causes people to behave as they do. It is a desire that translates into action. Motivation could be shaped by job satisfaction and the work environment, being happy with your work and what you do for employment. For instance, someone may not prefer to work in an assembly line, flip burgers, or fill orders in a warehouse. That might be boring, repetitive, and unfulfilling. Alternatively, someone may not like a supervisor or co-workers in an office setting. Perhaps they believe they are being mistreated or do not feel friendship in the company, government agency, or nonprofit organization. It might be hard to motivate in these contexts, but motivation also goes beyond those types of things. Some people are goal-oriented. Some people value hard work. Some people want to make a positive difference. Some people achieve satisfaction not only from their accomplishments, but from the journey along the way. These individuals constantly seek growth and personal development. The key is to find out what can be done to help employees develop that mindset. One of the first rules leaders and managers should keep in mind is to avoid creating an environment where motivation is dampened. Bailey and Madden reiterate that managers must avoid creating meaningless organizations which negatively affect motivation. Some of the points are obvious. Employees don't want to be taken for granted. They don't desire work that is unfulfilling. They don't want to be treated unfairly. They don't want conflictual relationships with bosses or coworkers, and they don't want to be injured or die while performing their employment responsibilities. According to the textbook Organizational Behavior and Public Management, stimulating employees' decisions to participate and to produce at work is the hallmark of an effective organization. For this reason, there's been a great deal of research on the subject of motivation, and a number of theories have been introduced to help leaders and managers maximize the motivation of their employees. During the scientific management era, the belief was that managers could motivate people to work based on the threat of firing them if they don't perform adequately. Over the years, many other theories have been introduced. Scholars have examined a stimulus that influences an organism to respond, a desire for security or affiliation, a desire to achieve in comparison to others, and the impact of a feeling of competence. Let's look at some of the prevalent perspectives. One theoretical proposition is that motivation can be harnessed if you find the right employees who have a commitment to public service. James Perry and Lois Wise assert that public service motivation may be understood as an individual's predisposition to respond to motives grounded primarily or uniquely in public institutions and organizations. Motivation is likely to be seen among these employees for one of three reasons. First, rationality. People are motivated in this profession based on a personal identification with a government program, or a cause. Second, norms. Employees are motivated because they desire to serve the public. Third, affect. Workers are motivated due to their feelings and emotions. The implication is to find the right employees who are committed to the public good. A second viewpoint is based on cognition, what people think. Humans, like animals, want to maximize benefits and minimize negative outcomes. If a job and the employment responsibilities will help people obtain an advantage and avoid a disadvantage, people will likely be motivated to work diligently. Leaders and managers should find ways to ensure employees see work as a rational decision. A related theory focuses on consequences. B.F. Skinner is well known for his work in this area. He says that consequences can be a significant determinant of motivation. There are two options here. First, people can focus on sticks, the punishments, such as a verbal reprimand or a written warning. Or second, people can concentrate more on carrots, the rewards such as receiving praise or a raise for a job well done. In Skinner's opinion, positive reinforcement is better at facilitating motivation. Another theoretical viewpoint pertains to needs. We've already talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. People require that their physical, social, and personal development goals are met. If this occurs, they may be more motivated to work. A similar perspective is provided by Hesberg. He suggests that there are two types of rewards that lead to motivation, extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic motivations may include negative outcomes, such as being disciplined, as well as positive outcomes such as increased pay. Intrinsic motivations are related to the rewards of doing the job itself. This includes having exciting and challenging work, accepting responsibility, promoting personal growth, seeing achievement, and being recognized. While both types of rewards are required, it is commonly asserted that fostering intrinsic rewards will facilitate motivation more than extrinsic rewards. Leaders and managers should keep this in mind. A different theory is based on expectancy. Victor Vuom has identified three concepts related to motivation. Valence is a person's desire to achieve an outcome. expectancy is the belief about the probability that an outcome can be achieved. Force is another name for motivation. It is the combination of valence and expectancy that impels someone to act. So for Voom, increasing motivation is about changing desires and beliefs about the likelihood of realizing outcomes that encourage people to fulfill work responsibilities. Some of the work on motivation concentrates on goal setting. Gary Latham and James Baldes said, "The setting of a goal that is both specific and challenging leads to an increase in performance because it makes clear to the individual what he or she is supposed to do. This, in turn, may provide the worker with a sense of achievement, recognition, and commitment." Empirical research indicates that people may rise to the occasion when given a challenging goal to attain. This suggests that leaders and managers should invite workers to stretch to meet important goals for the organization. Another theoretical approach is concerned with equity. Mark Bolino and William Turnley assert that employees evaluate their efforts and the rewards or punishments of those efforts. Then, the employees compare their outcomes with others to determine if it is fair. The employee may take action such as altering efforts, changing perceptions, or leaving the organization, among other things, if they perceive inequity. Therefore, leaders and managers must ensure that there is equity so that motivation will increase. A final perspective on motivation that we'll mention here relates to participation of employees in how the organization is run. This viewpoint is similar to the work of Mary Parker Follett. Renus Likert asserts that a participative management approach will likely increase motivation among employees. If leaders and managers have confidence and trust in workers, and if they increase employees' involvement in goal setting, the creation of policies and procedures, the evaluation of goal attainment, and the development of rewards, the employees will be more motivated. Overall, many of these theories suggest that leaders and managers should consider their own mindset towards workers. Douglas McGregor introduced Theory X and Theory Y as a way to have leaders and managers think critically about how they are impacting motivation. Theory X assumes the worst of employees. There's a need for constant supervision, decent working conditions, and pay to motivate a worker. Theory Y assumes the best of employees. Workers can and will be productive if their social and ego needs are met. A leader or manager needs to delegate responsibility and trust that employees will get the job done. As we consider motivation, we might want to critically examine its purpose in organizations. James Markham believes that we might be asking the wrong question about this concept. Markham wants leaders and managers to consider if they are motivating people or only manipulating them for the selfish interests of organizations. Organizations must have the right objective and the right means of accomplishing goals if motivation is to increase naturally. To wrap up, there are 4 points I want to reiterate. Leaders and managers of organizations don't want unmotivated employees. Instead, they desire workers who are engaged, dedicated, and productive. There are many different theories on what will help to increase motivation. You might question at this point which theory is the correct one to apply. In reality, all of these theories are part of a toolbox that you can draw from when needed. As a leader or manager, you will need to do anything and everything you can to motivate employees. The success of your organization depends on it. Well, I've taken a lot of your time. I hope this information in this video was helpful. Please give a like if that was the case. Have a great day.